Hey guys, in this video I'm going to build two apartments. One is going to have a 30% glazing to solid ratio on the facade. It's very efficient. And the other one is going to have these deeper balconies around the entire building. Again, very efficient. What it's doing is it's mediating between the internal controlled environment, temperature of the environment is controlled, and the external environment, also known as outside, where the temperature varies quite a lot. All right, and now I'm not going to build actual apartment plans. I'm just gonna draw the facades. This is facadism at its absolute finest. And if you've watched any one of these movies that I've ever done, you will know that the thing I'm going to do is stroke dash. But I'm going to explode the lines so that the stroke dashes always sort of happen on the corners. And the other thing I'm going to do first is I am going to do a line shorten, just of a meter and a meter, just so I can guarantee that those ends are going to be solid. So there's those corners of the building. See that? And then the stroke dash is sitting in the middle. All right, so let's do this, and we'll offset that polygon 0.2 out on the left and save. And I'm just going to build, before we move even a second further, I'm going to build the solid wall, and that's actually all I need because I'm just going to leave the windows transparent. Save and save. Make it whiter. Actually, maybe I'll make it sort of more timbery, like a grayed out. It's still warm timber. Okay. Back to the flow builder and add that solid wall. All right. And we just need to do the same here. So we're just going to grab this guy and offset that poly 0.15 to the left, and give him that residential use. And I'm always just deleting that number of levels there. And then I will do the same over here, offset that poly, and I'll do a 0.1 to the left. And I'm just doing different amounts just so that we get, like some slight variation across the facade in terms of depth, like a 3D variation. And I'll add that facades, no facades, and then the slab height. And I'll set it to 1 for now. Okay, and now let's just work these out. So the strokes, the first ones, are the solid walls. And so maybe we're going to go 2 meter solid, then 2 meter dash. That looks good. Save changes and add the levels property. And with a bit of luck, this thing will just spring to light. Okay, so that luck is not eventuated. Maybe the levels property is not passing forward. Forward properties. Just have to go old school. Form. All right, that's frustrating. I'll get that fixed. Levels 4. Properties levels 4. I guess this one has to have levels 4 too. I'm going to change this guy's color so it's darker and sort of, yeah, like that, and shiny. All right. Okay, now this is an apartment. And let me just change this to solid wall, and this to solid wall. There we go. This is what an apartment would look like if it was, say, 30% glazing. So it's 50% is the glazing there, and then a further 20% off. So these windows take up roughly 30% of the facade. And I'll just add a little roof on the top of this guy. Clone that guy and make him solid wall of one level with a huge stack order and a floor to floor of 0.3, 0.4. And just delete that shiny and that color override. There we go. Okay, so this is what an apartment building should look like if it's extremely efficient. And it's not terrible. It's not terrible to be inside of. So if we just turn the facades of the building off. Okay. Like that's a 2 meter wide window, and that's a meter high balustrade. This would actually be lovely to sit right in front of. You could put a whole dining room table. It does mean you have these large blank walls, so people that are used to like panoramic sort of horizontal vistas, if you've been in like a glass office tower where everything's glass, you would be disappointed. But I think this is a very natural and a very lovely kind of apartment. And what we can do is we can also change, like if you go 1-1, it's the same sort of thing. So these are now 1 meter windows with 1 meter gaps. Still going to be lovely. I think what people really, have been sold on is like the 0.11, something like that, or even that. But that's extremely inefficient. Like the sun is a heater in there. So let's go to 1.5, 1.5. All right, and that is a method of creating an efficient enclosed apartment. Now let's do this with one more method. And the strategy here is to create probably a very similar apartment. In fact, I may actually copy this apartment. So a similar facade, but then around the outside, we're gonna create some balconies, and then those balconies are going to allow you to sit sort of completely out in the environment. Whereas this building here has the feeling of there's a very hard line between inside and outside, and that's an efficient, high performance line. But this is an esky, right? This is a cool box. So let's make it let's feather it out a little bit. And the way we're going to do that is we are going to split this out, and we're going to offset it to a line, and we'll offset a line a meter out, and then we'll offset that line, offset it back to a polygon by 0.9. Now, do I have a balcony usage out the box? I do, and the levels are 4. And if I just save changes, okay, we're almost there. So you can see we're getting our stack order issues. So what I'm going to do is just offset thing to 0.8. There we go. And I just want to see, our balcony seems quite thick. Okay, so I'm just going to overwrite that slab thickness. I just maybe want it to be 0.15. That's better. That's cool. Okay, so now we've got this balcony, and I'm actually hardcode that balcony levels to 5. Now you see you get this little thing, these what we call vertical lines. On one of the options we've added is that vertical lines, you can hide them. Save. Okay, cool. So now we get this balcony look. Now what we'll do as well is let's add some columns supporting this balcony, and also those columns are going to they're also going to provide like a visual rhythm for this building, this balcony. So I'll offset this line by 1, and then we're going to stroke dash it, and we're going to go 1. No, sorry, we're going to go these little tiny columns, 0.1, and then they'll be every 4 meters. Okay, beautiful, and we'll offset them to the 0.2 to the left, and make them solid walls, so the same materiality as the main facade. Right, let's just save that. Okay, fantastic. It's sort of exactly what I wanted. Okay, the offset's slightly too big, so let's just offset that poly, offset that line 1.9, even 0.8. Okay, fantastic. And then the number of levels should be 4. All right, groovy. Okay, we've got this nice now that rhythm is probably a little bit too, at 4 meters. I actually want it to be exactly square. So what I'll do is make that 3.1. So 0.1 plus 3.1 is 3.2, which is the floor to floor height. So now those things become exactly square. And what one might do is put in that line explode as well, just so that the edges are the edges. So you're sort of always on the edge, and there's an offset here at the start, which I'll set to 0. So at least you get a pole every edge. We're currently on the stroke dash. We don't have that equalize function, but we're going to do that soon. Okay, and sort of to complete the look, what we may do is we could add some solid facades up and down this balcony. So there's this feeling of being on a balcony is very nice, right? This is a 1.6 meter wide balcony. What's even nicer is when you have a solid kind of a parapet, because then you can see out, but people can't see, and there's a sense of privacy. So let's get in there and add that sort of parapet. And the way we do that is we get our solid, we take those dashes, we offset them 0.1 to the left. And then we add that solid wall. And we set that no facades to true. And then we set the slab height equal to 1.2, the height of that wall. Okay, we just need to set those levels to 4. Okay, all right, now we have 2 buildings. So one with a solid sort of a glazed kind of a vibe, solid esky, and one with this, it's feathered. Do you see how it's feathered? And what we can probably do is the benefit we gain from that extra protection of height is we can make these buildings, these windows much bigger. So now when you're inside, this glass is floor to floor and you see out onto the balcony. All right, the last thing I'll do just to sort of, I'm going to add a color. I just want to add like a nice, bright, timbery, warm color. So I just copied that. Now I'll add it over here. And I want to make the balcony the same color. There we go. Cool. For this one, I may pop that roof up just a bit higher so it looks a bit more convincing. There we go. All right, so 2 buildings, the esky and then the sort of the feathered out interstitial zone building, both of the same area, X balconies, but this one obviously bigger with the balconies. But these balconies could be kind of clip-on. They could be like very lightweight sort of steel modules that clipped on.